Here we are on a lovely, actually a little bit of a rainy Friday afternoon. It's been a bit dreary today, but not for Dana and I. The sunshine shines every day for Dana and I, and we've had another great day. I've had a very good, very busy day, in fact, I don't know what Dana's day has been like, but we're going to find out. So here we are, Friday. I was a little behind, and Dana very kindly waited for me. But again, that never stops the call happening. Neither Dana judges me nor I judge Dana if things happen. If you're going to be doing accountability calls, please be patient with each other. And Dana's been beautifully patient with me. He was on the call 10 minutes before I was and was dancing to the on hold music. I know he was. I know it. I know he likes to do it. Let's get Dana on the call. Regional consultant Dana Heter, are you on the call with us today? I can hear you chuckling, so I know you are.
I can't believe you repeated what I put in my text. That's the last time I'm going to be honest with you in a text,
well,
Richard.
If you're not going to tell me, I'm going to put secret camera in there so I can see you dancing. Because the on-hold music reminds me, and hopefully we have some broad-minded people on the call, but it just sounds like, 1970s, naughty movie music. It's just like there's awesome music in the background. I can just picture you, boogieing on down in your living room there, waiting for me to get on the call. But
I was in my stocking feet trying to imitate Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh! Let's move on before it becomes any less discoloured. All right, or any more discoloured, should I say? Okay, well let's move on. So Freaky Friday, here we are. How did things go today?
Well, I was wanting to finish with a flourish today, so I'd actually gone through my list of 10 and beyond, but I kept pushing with your encouragement to do so, and so I added. I had more on my list, so I went on down my list and prepared 3 new scripts. And then had my follow-ups and a video tracker to send out with a preview email, and got those accomplished. In the midst of my traditional business stuff, I've got a project that's I'm nursing through, and I was having to run down to Dallas to deal with that project, and then brought on a new client today and had a lunch with one of my customers who is also an associate and did a soft invite. He's seen the plan, but this was related to his wife. So let's talk about the 3 that were on my list, extended list, that I called today. The first was Brian. The second was Darby. I love that name. Isn't that a wonderful British name? Darby.
What was it? Darby. Yeah, D-A-R-B-Y.
Darby.
Yeah, hello, Darby. It sounds like a 1940s or 1930s film, doesn't it? No, a British movie.
Oh, it does.
Chocks away, old boy. Tickety-boo. Bish bosh. Hello.
Cheerio,
anyway.
lad.
So Brian, Darby, and...
Brian, Darby, and listen to this one. It's another good one. Paige.
Oh, Paige. P-A-I-G-E?
Yeah. Yes, P-A-I-G-E.
Haven't we done a page? Didn't we do a page earlier?
We may have. I don't recall. I think we may have done a little bit of a page, but I didn't actually call her until today.
Okay.
I think we did some script prep for her and yesterday. And Brian we did as well. Well, Brian is a business owner. He has an IT company. I've been a customer of his, and he's fixed some computers and done some networking for my associate at the office, and I've gotten to know him, but it's been a couple 3 years since I've had any interaction with him. So I reached out to him. I didn't get him. I didn't leave a message. I reached out again. Didn't get him. Didn't leave a message. So today I said, I'm going for it. I'm going to leave a message. And I took part of my intro and just left it in the message, and it was, hello, Brian, this is Dana Heter. I'm a past customer of yours and an associate with so-and-so, who is a current client of his. I'm sorry I missed you. I do have a question for you. Please call me when you get a moment. Thank you. Here's my number. And then, I don't know, shortly after, I don't know, within an hour, he called me back. And he sounded a lot more personable when he called me back than he does on his voicemail. I would coach him on that, frankly.
Yeah.
But Brian, thanks for calling me back. It's been a long time since we've talked, but I'm glad to be able to talk to you. Frankly, I'm just about to get on to something here, and I can't even recall what I told him, but I'm about to get on to something, and I know you're always busy there at BB Tech, so let me get to the point. And then I've had a consulting business that you may or may not recall, but I've been at it for 28 years, and I work with nonprofit organizations, and I absolutely love what I do. Recently, Brian, I launched another side project that's helping to augment my retirement income substantially. And I would really like you to have eyes on what I'm doing. It may be a good fit. It may not be a good fit. And either way, it's perfectly fine. Hey, what are you doing after work today? I'd love to meet up with you at the Chili's restaurant up the street from your office. What do you say, 5:30? And he said, well, Dana, he hesitated for a minute, and he started to, think about it, I think. And then he said, well, can you at least give me some idea of what you were talking about here? And I said, sure, be happy to. Rather than him and haw, I just said, sure. It's in the energy space, Brian. Natural gas, solar, and electricity. It is incredible. Chili's 5 or 5:30. What works for you? And he said, well, Dana, man, and he said, I just don't feel like starting up anything new right now. And I said, am I hearing you say that you're just extremely busy? He said, yeah, I'm busy and focused on this. And I said, Brian, I totally get that. I'm busy too in what I do in my consulting business. And it may or may not be for you. And he said, Dana, it really isn't for me right now. And I said, I understand. And I appreciate the fact that you're being straight up with me about it. And what I'll do is I'll let you go and get back in touch with you at sometime in the future. He said, good, let's do that. And away we went.
Okay, that's one way of dealing with it, and I think that's fine. I think it's respectful and stuff, but I actually might have tried something else.
Okay.
I might have said, look, I know the time is not right for you. And I'm actually I'm not asking you to necessarily do this. I just want you to look at it because whether it's for you or not, I know you are very well connected and you can help me grow and network in the business. All I want you to do is to look at what I'm doing. I know it's not for you right now, and that's perfectly fine. I can get the information to you like via a video or website. When are you going to be by a computer? Mm-hmm. I might not have let it go quite as easily as that. I do understand I wasn't on the call, but if you'd asked me, I would have told you I was too busy, and you would have missed out on having an EC in your business.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, we're not asking him to join. We're asking him to look. So I might have not let him get away with it so easily. When he said to me, look, I don't think I want to start anything else, and that's perfectly fine. I would say, Brian, that I completely understand. I know, we all get super, super busy, and I'm actually not asking you, to necessarily do anything from that standpoint. But I would love you to do me a favor. I would like you to get your eyes on it. It's only 15 minutes. Reason being is that I know it's not for you right now, but I know you're super well connected, and it would really help me. Because obviously, you'll come across people where this may be an ideal fit for them. So when are you going to be by a computer? I think I would have gone for that. I think what he was worried about, he said, I don't have time to do anything else, which is in the space of Dana is asking Brian to join, and we needed to remove him from that. We're not asking Brian to join. We're asking Brian to look. Now, after looking, he may be thinking, dang, this is awesome, like I did, and join. He may say, okay, yeah, that's interesting. No, I am still too busy, but at least I know what you're doing now, and I'll be happy to refer you. Or he may say, you know what, really appreciate what you're doing. It's a great idea. I'll refer you and this type of thing, and you can also say, well, who is your current provider? Maybe we can, let's talk about this further down the line, 3-6 months, something like that. But maybe just try the service in the meantime. You may have got a customer.
Yeah, I thought about that. That at the end I let him afterward. I let him go.
That's the benefit of 2020, Dana. That's the benefit of 2020 vision and this type of thing. But with practice and with confidence, you will know when someone says, I don't have time to do something new. He was being very nice and very respectful. He wasn't being a dick about anything, right? He's very nice to you. Right.
Yeah.
And so I would say, well, look, Brian, I understand that, and I'm actually not, asking you necessarily to do anything at all other than, alongside what you're currently doing. That's perfectly fine. But I would like you to at least just take 15 minutes to see what I'm doing.
Right.
And then to say, because, you can refer me to people, and then maybe you could get a customer.
Right. That's really good. That's really good.
So just put him on your drip list for a 3-month, 6-month callback. Keep notes about what you did. And so, we spoke back in the day, and, I don't know if anything's changed for you right now. And, if you're still too busy, that's fine. But 3 months, 6 months from now, you can re-invite him and say, well, look, I know things are still super busy for you, but, I would really appreciate you just laying eyes on what I'm doing. It's growing so well for me. I need to find a couple more leaders, and I know you're really well connected, and I'd love you to know what I'm doing, because you never know who you're going to bump into who's looking. I'll just do that in 3 to 6 months' time. It's okay. It's okay. These calls go the way they are. But remember, stay in the space of we're asking you to look, not we're asking you to join. And when he said, I don't have time for anything else right now, you're in the wrong space. You're in the space of joining, and you should be in the space of looking. He has 15 minutes, but he doesn't have time to start a business, he thinks. So that's the paradigm we need to be in.
Exactly. Oh, that's very good. Very helpful. Okay. And I was thinking of Eric Worre. There was no good experiences or bad experiences, only learning experiences.
Exactly.
All right. Going on to Darby. Darby is a leasing agent at an apartment complex near where I live, and kind of an upscale place. And I met her when I went in to visit a few weeks ago to see if they would be open to making referrals, and to kind of size up the situation. So I called her, and she was on another line, and she said, do you want to leave a message? And the other woman, I said, no, I'm about to, and I was about to get another call. So let me in. I don't want to play phone tag with Darby, so I'll call her back in a while. So I gave it a while, maybe 45 minutes, and I called back, and they transferred me to her. So I began with this script. Hello, Darby. This is Dana Heter. Most likely you don't remember me. I visited with you briefly at the Marquis office a couple weeks ago to introduce myself and my company, Ambit Energy. Do you have a quick minute? She says, yes, sure. And she remembered me, actually. And I said, excellent. Well, I know you're busy and you're at work, so I'll get right to the point. When I met you, I was impressed with Darby, with your professionalism and your customer service attitude. And frankly, I walked out of there after my conversation with you, and I had a smile on my face. And so it really prompted me to want to get back in touch with you and give you a call today. I have a question. I know this is a little out of the blue, maybe off the wall, but I got a question. She said, okay. And I said, would you like to make some extra money on a part-time basis that wouldn't interfere with what you're doing at the Marquise? And she said, well, I would. However, I'm in the midst of planning a wedding. And I said, really? Congratulations. And we chatted just briefly about, is that your wedding? I mean, your daughter's wedding? She said, no, it's my wedding. And I said, wow. I said, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And she said, so for the next 2 months, she said, I am totally consumed with my wedding. So I immediately at that point said, well, I appreciate exactly where you are. I've been there with a couple of my kiddos, and I know there's a lot that goes into it. And shall I call you back after you've had your honeymoon and things have settled down a bit? She said, please do. And so I ended the call after that. And the thing that I enjoyed about it, which was reaffirming about my perception about her, was she said, I really do appreciate your calling me about this.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, work of art, Dana. Perfect. Again, I know there are some leaders that would have asked you to push a little bit more and have a look anyway. But because we are not of the numbers game team, and we're of the building 3 by 3 by 3, you're getting 2 customers each, we have patience. And the benefit of that is I think the business is just a lot more pleasant to do. It's so lovely to just be able to say, you know what? Yeah, let's give it some time. Enjoy your wedding, sweetheart. You know, do what you need to do, and I'll get back in touch in 2 to 3 months. That makes the job and what we do in Ambit, which is notoriously unpleasant sometimes if you're a pushy person, it makes it really quite pleasant. And you can call her back in 3 months. She knows that you're a patient, a kind person, and that this is not a pushy business. I think you dealt with it with absolute perfection. And for those of you who, who may think, oh, no, he should have pushed harder or whatever, that I'm not disagreeing with you. That is one way to do it, but that's not the way I coach. I believe in patience. We only need 3 good people. And I think if we do it that way, then our team will do that. What we do, people duplicate. And I have a team of considerate, empathetic builders who are getting their 3, who are getting 3, who are getting 3. Not a team of velociraptors going out on the hunt. I know there is space for both of those types of businesses, both of those types of approaches. I am not the hunting type. I'm the one who is going to be respectful and understanding and elevating this industry to something that it deserves to be, and not that boiler room, secondhand car salesman, pushy type thing. And I think that was an absolute work of art, Dana. You dealt with that perfectly. She purged herself, and we'll give her a call back in 3 months. Perfect, my friend. Perfect.
And the icing on the cake for me, Richard, was the thank you.
Yeah.
The thank you from her.
Right. Now, if you'd been pushy, you might have left that call with a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. Or she might. And that second call would have been flavored entirely differently because of that. Patience. 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. Qualify them all. 7 levels, $11,000. That's enough money for me. Let's build this the right way. Awesome job. Awesome job.
Thank you.
Exemplary, 10 out of 10. In fact, I might even give you a gold star.
Ooh, please.
All right, let's move on. Number 3, Paige. Let's talk about Paige.
Paige is also a leasing agent at another relatively new and very nice complex right on George Bush. And I met her on a visit back in the summer, and to there to see on a Saturday. Actually, I was out spending some time visiting some apartment complexes, and I went in and I met with her, and she was very gracious to me. I remember that about her, and so I called, and Paige was also with someone at the first call, so I declined to leave a message. I said, no, I'm in the middle of a few things, so I'll call her back. And I'm doing that mainly just to let, to deflect that, because I don't want to be playing phone pet tag. I want to choose my time to be able to call and talk. So I got her on the line, and actually when I called back the second time, she answered. And I said, oh, Paige, hello, this is Dana Heter. And I paused for a second, and I said, you don't remember me, do you? And kind of laughed. And I said, I wouldn't expect you to remember me, Paige, but you and I visited at Jefferson Center back in July, as I recall. And I came in and introduced myself and my company, Ambit Energy. She said, oh, yes, I remember you, yes. And so I said, Paige, I know you're busy, and frankly, I'm on a deadline too. Do you have a quick minute, though? And she said, yeah, excellent. All right, I'll get to the point. When I met you, and I was in your office, I was so impressed with your professionalism and your graciousness and customer service attitude, and that prompted me to want to get back in touch with you. Let me ask you a question. I know it's off the wall, out of the blue, but would you like to make some extra money on a part-time basis that wouldn't interfere with what you're doing at Jefferson Center? She said, well, yes, but I could tell there was some hesitancy. And I said, perfect. I'd welcome the opportunity to meet with you to show you what I'm doing. Now, Paige, it may or may not be for you. That's perfectly fine. What are you doing after work today? I could meet you at the Starbucks around the corner. And it's 5:30 or 6. Which is better for you? And she said, let me have your name and number, and I'll call you back. And I said, great. And so I gave her my name and number, but I yet to hear from her. What I figured was, given how their office is set up, is that her associate is just right next to her. Mm-hmm. And so her associate was probably there, not out on property or back in doing something in the other part of the building. And so she couldn't talk to me. That's what I surmised. And so I've yet to hear back from her.
Okay. 99%. For two reasons. Beautifully done, as always. Very, you did a great job. You said it may or may not be your thing, because you detected some slight hesitancy, which was very observant, and you followed that by saying, look, it may or may not, be a fit for you. I think you used the words you used.
Yep.
But I would add a little phrase to that. But you should at least take a look. And that's all we're doing is just take a look to see if it makes sense. Because, she's having hesitancy because she is in he's getting me to join something space. And remember, this is kind of like that other call. Let's get her out of that space and in the space of just keeping her options open and looking at what else is available out there. So it's a fine-tuning thing. But I was feeling let's think about you joining something rather than let's have you just take a look and see if this can work alongside what you're currently doing. And that's why it was 99%. It was 100. It was as good as 100%. That's all I would do. That was a slight fine tuning.
I like that. Yeah.
So, because now what you got
it kind of appeals to that thought. To me, that putting that phrase in there, that sentence in there, appeals to the what am I missing?
Right.
What may I be missing?
Right. And you said it may not be a good fit for you, but you can just take a look. Just take a look, and if it's not yours, and again, I may even say, and if it's not your thing, Paige, truly, that's perfectly fine. But at least you'll have the knowledge. So it's a real big takeaway. I love the power of the takeaway. It makes it so much more pleasant for you as the consultant. It stops us falling into that numbers game, pushy network marketer arena. It keeps us out of that. It keeps us respectful. It elevates the profession, and it makes it much more pleasant for you because we don't care if she joins or not because we only need 3.
One of the things that I like about this, Richard, is that I paid her a compliment.
Yeah.
And people are really starved for compliments.
Yeah. And that's actually worth pointing out, by the way, for those who are listening in on this call. Dana doesn't know Paige or who was the other girl, Darby, super well, only on an acquaintance professional level. And so he doesn't know how to appeal to their why. They're also a lot younger than Dana, so him talking about supplementing retirement might make him sound like they won't be able to relate. And so you went for the other route. If you can't use their why or your why, you went for a direct approach, which is perfect. You did a direct invite, and you start with a good compliment that is genuine and sincere. And you did that, and you always sound like that. You don't sound creepy. You don't sound, it sounds like I was really impressed with your blah, 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 blah. And you worked beautifully on that. And then you said, and this may or may not be appropriate, however. And then you used the phrase, would you be interested in making extra money part-time if it didn't interfere with what you're doing at such and such apartments? Great phrase. I use a slightly different phrase, but it's no better, no worse. I would say, do you keep your options open for extra income? But the wording, people hear it in different ways. Both are perfectly fine. But I would say, do you keep your options open for extra income on a part-time basis alongside what you're currently doing? It wouldn't get in the way with what you're currently doing. It would add to it. So it was great. And 99%, just that little phrase afterwards, say, it may or may not be your thing, may or may not be something that you want to do, but you should at least just take a look. And that's okay if it's not your thing, but let's take a look. So you did great. Couldn't do better.
Question. In terms, I haven't heard from her, and let's say I don't. She doesn't call me back. Part of my sensing was I can't talk to you right now. I've got my boss or someone listening. So that she asked for the name and number. But what if I don't hear from her? Should I call her back on Monday? Paige, I didn't hear from you. Because I don't have her cell number. I only have the work number.
2 things about that. First of all, she may have been trying to get rid of you and is not interested, and she may not want to join. And we don't care. That's the first thing. We don't care. It's mildly disappointing that we didn't find someone else to join our business. But other than that, we are not emotionally tied to the outcome of this invite. It's just an invite to take a look. That's the first point. The second point is, I think you're probably more likely right that it was she couldn't talk right then. I think it's perfectly okay to follow up and say, I didn't hear from you. I'm sure you got busy. I know you guys are super busy there. And then just re-invite. We talked about, if you remember rightly, we talked about maybe you making some extra income alongside what you're currently doing. And I'd love you to take a look at what we're doing. And Paige, let me remind you. This may or may not be your thing. This is a show and tell. Come take a look and see what we're doing. It may work perfectly for you. It may not be suitable, and that's fine. But just come take a look. So re-emphasize, really lay on thick the takeaway. There's nothing wrong with that. It's very powerful. It's very genuine, and it's very you as well. I mean, it's very nice. So you'd be fine.
Got to be me.
That's what I would do.
I got to be me.
Yes, you do.
No. So I had three news people, three invites, one no, one later I'm getting married. She didn't invite me to the wedding. And one call me back. She would call me back, and I haven't heard. I did also three follow-up calls today.
Okay.
Two, I didn't reach any of them. Two of them I left voice messages, and I've been ratcheting it up per your follow-up voicemail strategy. One was to the doctor, and I got there. I guess they're not in on Friday voicemail, and it was a general voicemail box, and I elected to not leave a message in the general voicemail box. And I elected to not do the emergency call, the emergency number if you need to speak to the doctor. I thought that might be a little over the top, just rubbed him a tad the wrong way. And then per our accountability call, the gentleman Price up in Maryland, who is the A-type personality that wanted to be in control. And so after, based on your coaching, I did send him a preview email and told him that I was going to be sending to his phone and that I haven't used an app that allows me to track when he's watched it. And but I'm concerned that I follow up properly. And I'd like to set an appointment to meet with you after you've watched the video, and that I would be watching, my app to see when he had a look, and we'll see if he watches it or not. But if he doesn't watch it, what do you recommend? If he does watch it, I'm going to call him and say, Price, is now a good time to talk, or rather, I'd like to speak with you after when you're not in the midst of 50 things there at the office. And how about this evening at 7:00?
And we'll try.
He has a bit of a. Okay.
So we'll
Pardon?
try 4 times. We'll try 4 times. Remember? First time, second time, third time concerned, fourth time. This is the last time calling, because you don't want someone as alpha male as that to steal your power. You've got to take it back from him, and we move on. And we don't care.
And I will do that.
He's missing out. He's the one who's missing out.
Yes. All right. Well, that was my day. I have to tell you that this has so energized me that I did something at the end of my day on Friday when I'm usually unwinding, listening to music and doing, not just hanging out, but relaxing and doing some light work. But today I said I'm going to get a head start on Sunday and start prepping my list for Sunday.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, and normally this is a Sunday afternoon, evening activity. And now this has energized me to the point, no, I want to get a running start on it. And so forth. So I did not call the police chief today because I've left him a couple messages, and I elected to not to do it, but I am going to call him on Monday.
Okay, good deal. Now, one thing to think about, Dana, is after this week is up, we cannot slow down. You're going to need a strong accountability partner. Have we talked about that?
Not really. No.
Okay, you're going to need to have someone you can work with, who you work with, like me. Someone who, cross-line, up-line, however you want to do it, where you're their accountability partner and they're yours, because this can't slow down the next week. There's no point in having one great week and then it's slowing down, okay? So that's the other thing to be prepared for Sunday.
All right. I have someone that's upline to me that Jenny LeClaire, but it's not a two-way. It's more of a one-way.
Right. So she would be your accountability partner, not the other way around.
No, I'm her. Yes, she's my accountability partner. I'm not hers.
Okay.
So I'll talk with her about that and see where she is. I've also been doing accountability texts and maybe a conversation a week during the week with Javier.
Okay, great.
Already.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. Javier is a star in the making. You watch that guy flow. I mean, he's going to kill it. Such a hard-working guy. It's awesome.
Well, I appreciate this. It's been an extremely helpful and great experience on Sunday. We'll be meeting at 8, and other than a recap on the week, and talking a bit about the scorecard, what else do you want me to prepare for?
Okay, you and I will be on the call, half of the call together, because the second half of the call will be preparing everybody else for their week next week. But we're gonna go through your list. The yeses we're gonna plug in, the maybes and the verifying we're gonna get them verified and planned. The no's we're gonna purge, make sure that they're done. And then I'm just gonna ask you how your week went. What differences from the previous week to this week. And think about the other people who are out there who may have the same challenges that you've had in the past, and how just structure. Not the fact it's with me. You've got to leave me out of the equation. It's got to be the structure and the system that will help you succeed. Because we've got 400,000 consultants out there that all need to be structured, and Richard Laidler cannot be part of that. Other than helping with the structure and the purge call. So, what is it about the purge call and your week that helps you? Has helped you this week as opposed to the previous week. Obviously, the fact that I can help coach and this type of thing, it definitely helps. But it's really how the structure has changed things for you. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense, yes.
Right, man.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, my friend.
Have a delightful evening, if you want to have brunch or lunch on Sunday, let me know.
All right, well, we'll see how we get on that. I've got a very busy Sunday, but let's chat and see how we get on that, my friend. But thank you very much for the invite. I appreciate it.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.